Hello friends, in this video we are going to discover the top 10 most expensive cities to live in Canada. Like every other typical market, the real estate market in Canada depends on factors such as the economy of the country and the interest rates. Due to this, the price of houses and rent vary from city to city. If you're wondering what are the most expensive cities in Canada, we've got you covered. In this video, we've highlighted 10 of the most expensive cities in Canada. We will also explain why these cities are costly. Methodology. Like every other typical market, the real estate market in Canada depends on factors such as the economy of the country and the interest rates. Due to this, the price of houses and rent vary from city to city. If you're wondering what are the most expensive cities in Canada, we've got you covered. In this video, we've highlighted 10 of the most expensive cities in Canada. We will also explain why these cities are costly. Kindly make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 10 most expensive cities to live in Canada. Now let's dig deeper into each of the top 10 most expensive cities to live in Canada. Number 10. Ottawa. Best for access to federal government jobs. Population 944,753. Average cost of a house, $525,000. Average monthly rent, one bed $1,700. Average monthly cost of living, $1,867. Ottawa joins the list of expensive cities in Ontario, making it one of the most expensive places to live in Canada. Although cheaper than other cities on this list, it still ranks above most places in Canada. It costs an average of $525,000 to get a house in Ottawa. The median rent in Ottawa is $1,700 monthly for a one-bed apartment. Why is Ottawa so expensive? Ottawa is the capital city of Canada, which makes it the home to Parliament Hill. For this reason, many people who desire to work in the government of Canada relocate here. This has a significant effect on housing and rent prices. Number 9. Etobicoke. Best for quiet area not far from downtown Toronto. Population 347,948. Average cost of a house $607,000. Average monthly rent, one bed $2,297. Etobicoke is a district in southeastern Ontario. However, it is sometimes considered a part of Toronto. Etobicoke has a distinct neighborhood. Etobicoke is a safe and calm neighborhood that ranks among the most expensive cities in Canada because of its location in Toronto. The average cost of housing in Etobicoke is $607,000. With a 21% increase compared to last year, the median rent is $2,297 monthly. Why is Etobicoke so expensive? Etobicoke is so expensive because of its location in Toronto. Like every other community in the GTA, Etobicoke reflects similar real estate trends. In addition, the majority of homes in Etobicoke are detached or semi-detached single-family houses on large streets. Finally, Islington City Centre West, a commercial and residential neighborhood, makes Etobicoke one of the most expensive cities in Canada. Number 8. Brampton. Best for access to many parks. Population 656,480. Average cost of a house, $1,098,200. Average monthly rent, one bed $2,000. Average monthly cost of living, $1,957. After Toronto and Mississauga, Brampton is the third largest city in the Greater Toronto Area, GTA. It is also one of the most populated and one of the most expensive cities in Canada. The average cost of housing in Brampton is currently $1,098,200. The median rent for a one-bed in Brampton is $2,000 every month, a 20% increase compared to last year. Why is Brampton so expensive? Brampton is expensive because of its proximity to large population centers clustered in the Greater Toronto Area, GTA. These cities often have closely related housing markets in demand and pricing. Many people working in Toronto prefer to live in Brampton because of the smaller population and slightly lower cost of living. Moreover, the cost of utilities and transport in Brampton are quite expensive. Brampton is also considered Ontario's most expensive city for car insurance. Number 7. Kelowna. Best for water sports and activities. Population over 143,000. Average cost of a house $1.0 million. Average monthly rent, one bed $1,920. Average monthly cost of living $1,774. Kelowna is much smaller than Vancouver and significantly cheaper, but it is still incomparable with other cities in Canada. The median cost of housing in Kelowna is now down 13%, making a single-family home below $1.0 million. The average rent in Kelowna is $1,920 per month. Why is Kelowna so expensive? With its enviable climate and its beautiful mountains and lake, Kelowna is a desirable place to live in, so the demand drives the rent price. The limited number of available homes and apartments also affects the price. Other factors like the cost of raw materials and building permits also affect the price. Number 6. Mississauga. Best for close proximity to Toronto. Population 789,344. Average cost of a house $1.0 million. Average monthly rent, one bed $2,122. Average monthly cost of living $2,225. Mississauga has a growing working population and accounts for over 25% of Canada's gross domestic product (GDP). Mississauga is one of the most expensive cities in Canada, as the average cost of housing in the city is $1.0 million, while the average rent for a one-bed inn is $2,122 a month, rising at 18% over the last year. Why is Mississauga so expensive? Mississauga experiences a limited quantity of real estate due to limited land for building and high population density. The shortage leads to an increase in the price of available land and houses. Mississauga's proximity to Toronto is another reason explaining its expensiveness. Number 5. Surrey. Best for both nature and urban city lovers. Population 603,970. Average cost of a house $1.1 million. Average monthly rent, one bed $1,825. Average monthly cost of living $1,950. Surrey is the fourth British Columbia city to make the list of most expensive cities in Canada. It is the largest city in BC, above Vancouver. Surrey is around twice as big as Vancouver, but that doesn't make it more expensive. You can find housing in Surrey for $1.1 million. Concerning the average rent in Surrey, it's $1,825 for a one-bed apartment, rising 14% over the year. Why is Surrey so expensive? Surrey is expensive for many reasons, but its proximity to Vancouver is one of the most prominent. The two largest cities in BC are just 1 hour apart. So it's not uncommon for people who work in Vancouver to choose to live in Surrey to save costs on rent and housing. Also, the cost of utilities in Surrey is relatively expensive, even more expensive than Vancouver's cost. Electricity, heating, cooling, water and garbage cost an average of $226.78 per month in Surrey for 85 square meters apartment. Number 4. Markham. Best for families. Population 359,900. Average cost of a house $1.4 million. Average monthly rent, one bed $1,995. Average monthly cost of living $2,466. Although living in Markham is cheaper than Toronto, it is still one of the most expensive places to live in Canada. It costs an average of $1.4 million to buy a house in Markham. If you opt for a one-bed apartment, the average rent in Markham is $1,995. Why is Markham so expensive? Markham didn't always make the list of the most expensive cities in Canada. Its addition is linked to the city's recent reconstruction and development projects. Many buildings, roads, parks, and community facilities have undergone a recent renovation, giving rise to an increase in price. Markham is undergoing robust urbanization from the agricultural city it once was. Number 3. Victoria. Mildest climate in Canada. Population 394,000. Average cost of a house $1.6 million. Average monthly rent, one bed $2,095. Average monthly cost of living $1,906. Victoria, BC, is commonly compared with Vancouver because of the many similarities. However, Victoria is cheaper than Vancouver given that it is a smaller city. The average cost of housing in Victoria is $1.6 million. At the same time, it costs an average of $2,095 to rent an apartment in Victoria, rising 16% compared to the rest. Why is Victoria so expensive? The primary factor responsible for the high cost of living and real estate in Victoria is the construction of newer homes in the city. Moreover, it is impossible to expand the land in the city of Victoria since it's located on an island. This leads to an increase in demand and therefore to a price increase. Finally, it is the capital city of British Columbia. Number 2. Vancouver. Best for the outdoorsy and hiking lovers. Population 637,234. Average cost of a house $1.4 million. Average monthly rent, one bed $2,500. Average monthly cost of living $2,298. Vancouver used to be known as Canada's most expensive city, however, over the year it has placed second. Many North American cities like New York and Los Angeles are known for their insanely high real estate prices and cost of living. Vancouver gives these cities a run for their money. Vancouver was listed as the 108th most expensive city in the world. The median cost of housing in Vancouver, BC is $1.4 million. The average rent for a one-bedroom in Vancouver, BC, is $2,500 per month. Why is Vancouver so expensive? Vancouver is so expensive because available land is limited, so the land cost is high. Soft costs such as payment for legal fees, insurance, and more are high. In fact, the general cost of living in Vancouver is high. Number 1. Toronto. Best for job opportunities, database analysts and software engineers and designers. Population, around 3.0 m. Average cost of a house, $1.0 million. Average monthly rent, one bed $2,279. Average monthly cost of living, $2,286. Toronto has ranked as the most expensive place to live in Canada. Toronto is also the most populated city in Canada with almost 3.0 million people. According to Remax, Toronto ranks 89th listed as the world's most expensive cities. It costs an average of $1.0 million to buy a house in Toronto. The average monthly rent in Toronto is $2,279 for a one-bed apartment, a 25% increase from the year prior. Why is Toronto so expensive? Due to the high population in Toronto, there's a high demand and short supply of real estate. This causes a spike in the price of the available properties. Additionally, Toronto is the economic center of Canada with many job opportunities, which also contribute to the influx of people. These factors also affect the cost of living in Toronto. So, which is your favorite places among the top 10 most expensive cities to live in Canada? Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this. Post your favorite places among the top 10 most expensive cities to live in Canada in the comments below. I'd love to read them and I'm sure others would too.